Good morning, it's Thursday, February 1st, 2024, and we have some new third level characters. Before we dive in, we have channel business to take care of first and foremost. I will not be broadcasting another video in this series until a week from Friday, so 8 days from now, next Friday on the 9th of February. On Sunday, the 4th of February, please say a prayer for Summer Wells. Now let's get our channel disclaimers out of the way. This podcast is rated for a mature audience only. If you are under 18 years old, this content is not for you. Thank you for visiting us. There's plenty of other content on YouTube for you to watch. Have a great day. All content not created by the blue-haired bingo babe, that's me, belongs to its original creator. It is used to substantiate, augment, or exemplify this author's content. It is used under Title 17, Section 107 of U.S. Code, governing fair use for news, education, and critique. Bring in the dogs, my heroes. The dogs in this story really played a key role in helping law enforcement determine what to look for, where, and when. We know from the dispatch back and forth that K-9 was warned off earlier in the evening because the Wells dogs were loose. And so I'm picking an arbitrary time of 8 p.m. or after for the dogs being released to search. It's totally arbitrary because we don't have a timestamp for when they were actually deployed in the 7 to 8:30 time frame. And so too the ground search and rescue. Air support was on scene shortly after 7 p.m. and had landed in a temporary landing zone, and they were dispatched as quickly as they were given the perimeter of where to search from the air. I do not know when the dive teams were released to search in the ponds around the Beach Creek area, but I am confident that they were deployed as soon as there was enough daylight for it to be safe for them. As you can see in the note above, sunset was at 20:53 or 8:53 Eastern Daylight Time, and that gave search from 8 to 10, despite the fact that Ben Hill Road is in a holler and the hills would have obscured the light quickly. We do know that they searched far past sunset and were augmented by air support. The determination to make Summer Wells an Amber Alert case came at approximately 3 a.m. on June 16th, 2021, and was published in the morning news the following morning. Two more tertiary characters to be added to the crowd, Robin Lane and David Dotson. And their initial stories contradict each other, so I'm going to let Candace tell the story. I should also point out that the original source for Candace's narrative comes from Unmasked, and that channel at the time was a partnership. It has since dissolved, and these conversations are no longer available in their original form. Hence the reason I am using my own content.
Dispatch notes, parents say she, meaning Summer, has only been gone for 10 minutes. Candace tries to reach a church friend, Robin Lane, who is the Sabbath school teacher for the age group to which Summer Wells belongs. Candace is unsuccessful, and she reaches another church friend, David Dotson. Robin Lane's account is taken from a new release from Chris McDonough of the Interview Room, published November 17th, 2021, and David Dotson's information is taken from an interview he did back in July with Unmasked. Everything else from here on out, as far as searching and what the authorities have concluded, is a matter of public records.
Against my better judgment, I am going to include a clip from the Interview Room. And this is used under Title 17, Section 107 governing fair use of other people's copyrighted content. The interview room has made it abundantly clear that their original material, interviews and analysis and so forth, is their copyrighted content, and they will strike anybody who uses it. To you, sir, I say this. If you choose to copyright strike a channel with 15 subscribers as of this date for trying to paint as full and accurate a picture as possible of the Summer Wells story, so be it. Let God judge between you and me. Here we go.
Okay, take me back to the day she disappeared.
Okay, so I was...
Walk me through that.
Okay, so I was taking pictures at my little girl's dance recital. It wasn't actually the recital, it was the practice for the dance recital, and we had a big backdrop, and I had my fancy camera, and I was getting pictures of all of her classmates, all of her, the kids in the class, in the dance class. And I saw my phone, bzz, 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 and it was Candace, and she was calling me on FaceTime. And of course I couldn't answer because I was taking pictures.
What time was it?
Well, dance class starts at 6, so it was probably around 6:30 or 7, I would imagine.
Okay.
I didn't look at the time, but I guess...
Had you seen her any earlier that day, Candace?
No, hadn't seen her, talk to her.
Okay, so that was the first contact
that was
that
the first
day.
Contact, yeah.
Okay, what happened?
And she called me maybe 5 times on FaceTime, and I didn't answer to any of them until class was over, and I'm cleaning up all camera equipment, putting away the backdrops and everything, and I get a call from a friend of mine, David Dotson. I get a call from him, and he said, Candace has been trying to call you. And I said, I know, I saw it, I wasn't able to answer, what's up? He goes, Summer's missing. And I was like, oh my goodness. I didn't realize at that moment how huge that was, but I was like, oh wow, that's bad. I'll call her. So actually, I don't even think I had to call her. I think she interrupted that call and she called me. And she got on my FaceTime screen. I've got my little girl in the back seat, and she's like freaking out on my screen there saying, Summer's gone, and I called the police, and I don't know what to do. And I said, Candace, I'll be right there. I'm coming. But I said, first I got to get my little girl home. I got to get my husband to put her to bed, and I'll be right there. So I go home, and I get a bag, and I put flashlights and snacks and all the stuff in there, thinking I'm going to be up all night looking for this little girl. And I don't think I even got to the house until probably 9 o'clock because I had to do some other things before I could leave. So I think I got there around 9, and they wouldn't let us in.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, they wouldn't let us in. I parked my car down there at the little road across from the main road, and walked up there, and they had it all taped off. There was helicopters flying around everywhere. There was search dogs. There was police officers and lights, and it was just craziness. And at that moment, I realized, wow, this is a big deal. This is not just a small beans. We can't find her. This is huge.
Right.
Yeah.
So when your first impression when you got there was what?
Wow, this is a big deal. That's just, I mean, not that I didn't think it was a big deal before, but I didn't understand, I guess, at the moment that she told me Summer's missing and we called the police. I didn't know what to expect. This never happened. I'm a rookie. I'd never experienced anything like this before. So, yeah, it was just overwhelming, the amount of, and then I started getting really scared at that moment that, wow, this little girl's missing. She's been missing for, I guess, a while, that all this team has been put together this quickly, you know.
When you were on the video chat with Candace, explain that to me.
Well, to be honest, I was driving. So
you were what?
I was driving.
Okay.
So I couldn't really give her my full attention, but I just remember that her words were kind of crazy. She was panicking, and so to be honest, I can't really tell you anything specific that she said. I know I probably asked her how long she's been gone for. I probably asked her questions, but I don't remember because I was distracted and she was in a panic mode. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
In panic mode.
She was in panic mode.
And
Yeah.
did she mention Don?
Probably, but I don't remember what she said about
Okay.
him.
Did Don call you?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, so your communication about Summer was Mom.
Just Mom. Yeah.
Okay. When you got there, when was the first time you had a chance to see Candace next?
It took a while because they wouldn't let us go up, so there was like a yellow tape down.
When
the
you
bottom
say
of the truck.
they wouldn't let us.
The police.
And who's us?
It was me and David Dotson. Yeah,
Okay.
we just had to hang out with the police because there was no way for us to go up the driveway.
Okay, and what were the police saying at the line there? Because I know cops talk when people come. What did they say?
They were just telling us how long that they'd been there, and I asked them if they'd had a good picture of her because I didn't know, and a couple of them said, yeah, I've seen a picture of her, and there's another couple that said, we haven't seen a picture yet. And I'm like, what? You haven't seen a picture of this little girl? So I pulled up on my phone.
Which one of these is the picture that if you remember?
Actually, none of these are the ones that
I love. Tell me about the haircut story, if you know.
I asked the mom, I asked Candace why they cut her hair, and she told me it was a cool summer cut.
And this picture is, she's what, probably...
Oh, well, that was taken after, Mother's Day was the first time I saw her with her haircut, so that was probably taken close to Mother's Day right there.
Okay, and do you know anything about the red truck?
Okay, so that red truck, I've been told, has been, they already talked to the person. And
it's been eliminated?
It's been eliminated, thank you for the word, yes.
Okay.
So that, actually, I was going through these and I was Xing it out, and because I just don't think that we need to be looking for a red truck
Well, and that's one of the reasons, right?
I know.
Why it's important to keep fresh information out there. Because the investigation's going on, but they're so busy, they can't come up and say, hey, by the way, we're not looking for this red truck anymore.
I know. It wasn't until after I got a big stack of those that I was informed that that was no longer a truck.
Okay, that's good information. So you're at the fence, or you're at the line.
Right.
Was it up the driveway?
Well, there was a couple, the police were stopping the traffic there on the main road, the paved road, but then you could walk this way and then go up the driveway, and the driveway, at the base of the driveway where it's real steep going up, that was all blocked off with yellow tape, and there was people there and like side-by-sides and officers and stuff there, and then there were officers out the main road. So we just kind of hung out with the officers at the main road when we realized we couldn't go up that driveway.
Okay. When was the first time then, after that you had a chance to talk to Mom?
It was probably around 10 o'clock or so. They finally, said, well, go ahead and go. I guess they wanted us to wait until the dogs were done doing their sniffing. They didn't want to mess up the scent.
Made sense.
So they let us go up after that. Now, David had already been up there before I had, and I don't know the details about when or how, but I know that he was there before I got there and had already talked to the family.
Okay.
And by the time I got there, they had not allowed us to go back up there again. But I think it was maybe around 10 o'clock that the officers finally said, you guys can go ahead and go. So we went up there, and all we did was pray. That's all we did, was we prayed with the family and talked to them and hugged on them, hugged on the boys. I mean, that's really all we
Was everybody there?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Grandma?
Was there. Mom, Dad, Candace, boys, they were all there. And an officer was up there too, yeah.
Okay, and what was your sense of that when you first saw them?
What was my sense? Like, just the feeling that I got from
When you finally were able to go up there, when you saw them for the first time, walk me through that emotion.
Oh, I just felt, it was just shock. It was just shock, I think, for all of us.
And what did you see on that side when you saw it? From your side, it was shock. Is it shock on their side? What is going on? Help me understand those dynamics.
For me, it was shock. For them, I think it was just confusion. I'm sensing a lot of confusion and just overwhelming grief. And Don especially, his eyes were just, they looked achy, that ache, And Candace maybe, a little bit of, still had some panic going on. Grandma, I'm sensing from her just despair. I mean, these are all words that I just sensed from
I just want to make sure that when you first saw what you saw, or sense what you sense, it's exactly probably what the cops were thinking in the very beginning, okay? So your impression was you could help this family. That be accurate?
Yeah, in my own little way.
Okay. Walk me through when you left that night. What was going through your mind?
That was a long drive home. I was just devastated that I mean, I guess I just expected her to be found right then and there. I guess I had prayed, I had hoped, and I had done all the right things. I prayed the right prayers, and the people were here. I just knew she was going to be found that night. There was too many people helping. There's no way. And when I drove away and she still wasn't found, and it was, a little chilly at night, and I'm just thinking, I was just devastated.
By the time this interview was released in November of 2021, I started thinking I should take cuts from the interview that Unmasked did with Candace, the interview that Unmasked did with David Dotson, Allie's commentary about these events from Unmasked, and Robin's interview with the interview room, cut them all together. However, that would have made for a very long video, and while I regret not doing it now because not all of the original material is available, there's nothing I can do about it. So the question before us becomes, what do we make of these two characters? What roles are they playing? And what character archetypes are they displaying as their overall personality types and actions involving this case? Keeping in mind also that we are not looking at questions of guilt or innocence in this case study. We are looking at how they stack up to character writing in literature, including both fiction and nonfiction. That's a wrap for today. I appreciate your patience very much and look forward to your thoughts. Next episode in this series is Friday, January 9th. Thank you so much again. God bless you. I'll see you real soon.